When science meets nature, when hydrogen binds with carbon, when oil turns into liquid gold, a new force beckons, driving winds of change, transforming lives, fueling dreams. Oil is of vast importance in the world today, and a country that does not have its own oil is in a weak position. With these words, India's first Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru, kindled a fire, leading the country to a new freedom movement, that of economic independence. It was the India of the 1950s, when the complex oil industry was fraught with roadblocks and entry barriers that included capital, technology, and skilled people to manage infrastructure. No wonder a conglomerate of multinational oil companies, all part of the famous Seven Sisters, held the Indian petroleum industry in tight control. But now, spurred by national fervor, a nascent Indian company was preparing to take on the giants. The beginning was modest. The Indian Oil Company began operations in a two-room tenement at Botawala Chambers in Bombay on the 30th of June 1959. The company's initial task was to market petroleum products that it would import as it had no access to refineries. But it plunged headlong towards a greater goal, that of self-sufficiency. In less than a year, the Indian Oil Company had negotiated with the Soviet Union for the import of petroleum products to meet the country's deficit. And on the 17th of August 1960, the Russian tanker MV Uzhgorod docked at the Pir Pao jetty in Bombay, marking the commencement of diesel supplies by an Indian company. The Volga had come to meet the Ganges. Faced with competition for the very first time, the multinational giants had no option but to begin slashing diesel prices. It was the beginning of a losing battle to protect their monopoly. Earlier, on 22nd August 1958, Indian Refineries Limited had been set up to establish a strong public sector presence in refining and pipelines. As a result, the first Indian refinery came up at Guwahati in Assam. It was inaugurated by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru on the 1st of January 1962. In September 1964, Indian Refineries was however dissolved and merged with Indian Oil Company, which was in turn renamed Indian Oil Corporation Limited. An integrated downstream sector was taking shape. More refineries followed at Barauni in Bihar and at Koyali in Gujarat. The latter was inaugurated by the President of India, Dr. S. Radhakrishnan. Erected at breakneck speed, the first three refineries helped place Indian Oil within reach of potential markets and known oil assets. The refineries were buttressed by the building of pipelines, the first of which was the Guwahati-Siliguri pipeline, followed by the Koyali-Ahmedabad and the Barauni-Kanpur pipelines. Soon, a complex underground network of pipelines would spread across the country. Earlier, in 1963, Indian Oil had forged a joint venture with Mobil Petroleum of USA to set up lube blending plants and market Mobil lubricants in India. But with indigenization as its goal, Indian Oil set up an R&D center at Faridabad in 1972. It made an early breakthrough with the launch of its own world-class lubricant Servo, marking the end of its alignment with Mobil and the beginning of a new phase of growth. Investment in infrastructure continued unabated. A network of port and inland depots and terminals was built, linking different parts of the country. Uninterrupted supply to retail outlets, kerosene and LPG distributorships, aviation fuel stations. Indian Oil was moving fast, foreseeing needs, anticipating demand. It seemed there was no stopping a company driven by a national mission. In less than a decade, Indian Oil had emerged not only as the industry's largest downstream company, but also as the country's largest commercial enterprise. Stunned by the inexorable growth of Indian Oil, the once invincible oil giants decided to withdraw from India, from a market they had dominated for many years. The next phase saw consolidation on all fronts. The world's oldest refinery in Digboi, Assam, was acquired in 1981. Even as state-of-the-art refineries were set up in Haldia in 1974, Mathura in 1982, and Panipat in 1998, representing a quantum leap in technology and output. A grid of pipelines continued the underground journey, connecting the refineries to different parts of the country. Meanwhile, a new retail revolution was brewing. Indian Oil set up a chain of petrol stations, offering a wide range of value-added services, which soon became industry benchmarks. To keep pace with the changing rural landscape, Indian Oil also pioneered Kisan Seva Kendras that catered to the farmer's need for agricultural supplies, besides his need for fuel. On the urban front, a kitchen revolution was sweeping across the country. The launch of Indane cooking gas in 1965 eventually led to India emerging as the largest retailer of packed LPG in the world. Indian Oil has always accorded high priority to nurturing its human resources. To keep pace with the various business challenges of the future, an apex center for learning, the Indian Oil Institute of Petroleum Management was set up in Gurgaon in 1995. The new millennium brought with it exponential growth through acquisitions, joint ventures, and a grassroots refinery at Paradip, which is currently under construction. And globalization took the company to developing regions like Sri Lanka, Mauritius, and West Asia. From a fledgling company in 1959, Indian Oil today meets half the nation's petroleum needs. And is currently the highest ranked Indian company in the Fortune Global 500 listing. With 35,000 customer touchpoints, over 10,000 kilometers of pipeline crisscrossing the land, and 10 of the country's 20 refineries, Indian Oil has come a long way, touching and transforming lives of 1 billion Indians. Today, as Indian Oil charts a new vision for growth, another exciting journey begins, nurtured by its core values. Propelling the company into areas such as exploration of oil, marketing of gas and petrochemicals, and even biofuels and hydrogen. From earthquakes to tsunamis, from floods to famines. And during war and peace, only one company has been a reliable partner: Indian Oil. Because somewhere, a child is waiting to go to school. Somewhere, a soldier is being transported to safety. Somewhere, a mother has to cook the evening meal. And somewhere, a man has to get home from work. Because at Indian Oil we believe our business is not just about oil. Our business is about people.